Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. This is my first video and today I will talk about compositing. And for you who don't know what is compositing is when you have two different pictures and then you match them together. And without any further ado, let's get into it.
Now let's start by grabbing this picture and dropping it in Photoshop, and we'll wait for a while until it opens. After it opens, we will go to Quick Selection Tool, click on Select Subject, and wait until it makes a selection. And now let's see if it made a good selection. I'm sorry for the quality of the photo because it is taken by phone's camera. Now let's create a let's create a mask to remove the background, and go to brush tool. Let's make it bigger. Sorry, let's make it smaller, and make sure the foreground color is black. Press X to toggle between the white and black colors, and then remove and then remove these parts that we don't want. And you can toggle between those white and black colors until you make the selection you want. You make the brush a little smaller to take control even more. Oh, the opacity is not set at 100. Make sure it is 100%, and then start removing and adding parts as you want. Now let's see if it looks fine. No, still needs a little bit here, and a small touch. Can remove this part. Okay, we're done. Now let's see the whole picture. Sorry. Now it looks good. Let's go back and let's go to channels to select the hair. But first, let's turn off the mask. Press Shift and click on the mask to remove the mask, and then go to channels and try each of them alone to see which makes the best contrast with the background. Green is fine. Let's go with green, and now make a copy of this. I'm sorry. Make a copy of it, and then go to levels, press Control L, and decrease this, and drag this arrow to the right, but without frying the hair. Don't go this much, go a little bit, like this. And this looks fine. Let's decrease it a little bit. Okay, that's fine. And now let's go back. Let's go back and delete all of this. And let's get back to the layer. See if the picture is selected well. Yeah. You can also remove anything you want. Remove any extra areas by using the brush tool. Now let's remove this pimple right here by using this regular brush tool. Click example like this. I think it looks pretty good. Now let's see if the image is selected well again, and we're good. Now let's go and create a background. Click new, open, make it at 2500 pixels height and 1750 pixels. Then click create. Then drag this picture right here. Go to the move tool, click and drag this picture and drop it here. And before you do anything, make sure to convert this layer to a smart object to not lose its quality while editing the photo. And then pre-transform it. Press Shift and Alt on Windows to maintain the proportion. And if you have a higher version of Photoshop, you can do it without clicking any of them, without pressing any of them, and it will do it automatically. And choose the right size that you want. Then press enter. Let's put it here. Enter. Now let's turn it off for a bit. Now let's make a copy of this and change the foreground color to any color to fill out the background, any color you want to fill out the background with. I'll choose this color and click Control Backspace to fill it out with the foreground color. Then I'm gonna go to the brush tool. I'm gonna go to the brush tool and create and choose clouds or smoke, anything like this. This one, no. Choose any brush you want and then paint with it. I'm gonna go with this. Let's make it a little bigger and paint with it. Make sure to play with the flow. to add a faded version of the brush. Let's increase it a little more. Now let's go and choose another one. I'm gonna choose this one. Let's try it out. Oh, the flow is very low. No, it's bad. Let's delete that. And let's choose another brush. Let's try this one. Make it a little bit bigger. You can change the colors, make it like this, but I think it won't be good. Now I'm gonna decrease the flow a little bit. I think I'm gonna go with another brush. Let's try the same one, the same old one. Change the color. And do a little bit of clicking in a random fashion. See, it looks good. Let's increase the flow a little bit and do another. Oh, sorry. Let's make it here. Let's increase the flow a little bit. And I think that's fine. Now let's get back to the layer, turn it on. As you see, there's a little bit of fringe here that we need to remove. So let's get back to the layer here and remove it. Grab the brush and click on the mask. Make the brush a little smaller. Return to the soft round brush. Make it smaller. And let's see now. oh sorry, double click on smart object right here. Will open in another layer, another document, and then go and remove the part that you don't want. Let's go to the brush tool, select the mask, paint with black, then switch back to white again. And let's see, after you're done, click enter, press enter. Looks like we have a little problem here, so I'm gonna fix it and get back to the tutorial. Okay, let's get back. What I did is I double clicked on the smart object. It opened up here in another document, and then I went to the mask and grabbed the brush tool. Then I removed, I selected black as the foreground color, and then I removed the area right here, and then I clicked save, and it showed up here without this strange area. Now let's balance the light of the photos, the brightness with that of the background. Create a curves adjustment layer, then click right here to clip it to the layer, to the subject. Let's name this subject. And let's play with the highlights, midtones, and shadows. And this is fine. This is fine. Then we can create another one, other curves adjustment layer, to make it more balanced. Let's see the before and after. This is before, this is after. Now let's go and make a hue saturation adjustment layer. Take the saturation down a little bit, balance it more. Let's see, now it looks more balanced. Let's go and now let's remove these strange fringes, but before that we can do a copy of this background and then convert it to smart object, then go to filters and blur it with Gaussian blur. We can go for this around 40, then drag it to the top, all the way to the top, and clip it to the subject layer. Change the blend mode to try different ones, try different blend modes, and choose the one you see is the most balanced with the background. I'll go with color dodge or soft light, and make it and decrease the opacity a little bit. Like so. And now we're good. Let's see the before and after. This is before. This is before. This is before. This is after. Before, after. Before, after. I forgot to clip it to the subject, and it was clipped to the hue saturation layer because this hue saturation layer wasn't clipped to the subject. Now let's go and balance the colors of the clothes. Let's create another curves adjustment layer. And go a little darker, like so, and then invert the mask, grab the brush tool, make it bigger, make sure the flow and opacity are at 100, and then paint with white, sorry. You can see let's decrease the flow a little bit here. Now this is the before, this is the after. Let's go add a little bit of darkness here. Now let's add some shadows. We will go to solid color. We will go to solid color and make a black shadow. Try to select an area in the picture like this one and make it a little darker, and then let's invert the mask and select the white ground, the foreground color as white, then paint, but don't forget to decrease the opacity, the flow of the opacity. Sorry for that sound. I have to decrease it a little bit more. Try to make it matching, to match it. I'm gonna speed this up a little bit and then get back to you. Now let's go and add some brightness, some light in this area. We will do it by making a layer, then remove the clipping mask. We will go to the brush tool, choose the brush tool with a little bit of, with a little flow. Oh, sorry. Let's see. It's not matching. Let's darken it a little bit here. And now let's add a little brightness here. Darken it a little bit. Now let's add some brightness here on the subject's face and clothes. We will make a solid color adjustment layer. Choose color from here and then brighten it a little bit. Now invert the mask, grab the brush tool, foreground color is white, go to the areas you want to paint on, sorry for that, and then start painting, but increase the flow a little bit. Well, let's make this color a little brighter, like this. Return to the mask again and brighten this area, increase the flow. Then add some lightness here and there. I'm gonna speed this up a little bit and get back to you. Now let's remove those fringes, those lines that appear in white around the subject. Let's go and click on the subject, then go to filter, make sure the subject is is converted to a smart object, and then go to blur, Gaussian blur, and try values until you see that the fringes, these areas disappear. I'm gonna go with 7.8, then go to this mask on the smart filters and make sure the foreground color is black, and paint on the subject to get the details on the face and the body back. Now I'm gonna do this and make it right, then get back to to the photo again. and now I'm back. Let's remove these areas that are not matched. We will go and create a layer, and then we will move it down here, down again, and then we will go and choose the clone stamp tool and sample from current layer and below. Then press enter. Make sure the flow is at 100. Opacity is also at 100. Then make it a little bigger. Sample and click. Sample, click, sample, click. Sample, and click. And let's see. Now it's a little bit matching. Let's zoom in and adjust it a little bit. Now I'm gonna go and adjust this area. Then we'll go to the shadows and make sure foreground color is white. Flow is 50. Oh, sorry. And click on the mask. Foreground color is white. Grab the brush tool. Then we're gonna give it a little bit of black. Let's go. Let's go back a little bit, and now have to we have to apply, and we have to apply a global filter that makes the image and the background one. We will go and do it by making a color lookup table. Drag it all the way up, and you can see which one, and make sure it is applied on both, and then make sure to see all the filters to see which one is the most beautiful. And I think this one looks good. And play with your opacity a little bit. like this. And this is the whole image, and after finishing you can take a break and get back to the image again, so you can see the differences in brightness, saturation, and color. And if you see that it is not matching, then go ahead and adjust those curves and hue, saturation, and other things, shadows, lights, everything again to make it matching. And that's it. This is the image before. Let's turn off all the layers. This is it before, and let's turn on all the other layers again. This is it after. Tell me what you think of it in the comments. And if you like the video, don't forget to drop a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss out on any of my upcoming videos.